Whoa! Hey! It's me! Your boy CIS, what's going on? Anyways, I've had quite a lot of questions asking me specifically about like my gun rights, what my plan is, what's going on, can I ever be a licensed machine gun manufacturer again? What's the deal? And so I thought I'd make a video. Normally I like to pull out a specific comment for this, but unfortunately there's just a lot of them, and well, I guess I probably could have pulled a specific comment. Maybe it's just laziness, who knows? But the point is, let's dive into this video. But the most important thing you need to remember about all of this, before you forget anything else, is if you'd like to help support the channel directly, shop at OnlyTacticalFans at Shopify.com, where you buy some cool ass merch to help support the channel, because this channel is currently demonetized, and honestly it's probably going to be demonetized indefinitely. Yes, right now all I have at the store is support stuff like fan merchandising, if that makes any sense. I'm not really sure what you'd call it. But I am going to expand the store. There is eventually going to be like MREs and tools and all that stuff, like stuff you need too. So make sure to keep going there, because you never know when some new stuff might pop up. Anyway, back to the video. So let's do a quick recap. I was a licensed machine gun manufacturer. I also had a YouTube channel. I had a whole ass business tied around it. I took on a sponsorship contract for a piece of metal with a drawing on it. Yes, I did call the ATF. Yes, they did say something either is or is not a machine gun. There's no in between. He's like, can you take that and put it into a firearm and make it a machine gun? I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, but you could potentially, hypothetically, maybe cut that piece of metal out and make a lightning link. He's like, it doesn't matter. Something is or is not. There needs to be a clear line in the sand. Otherwise, it's impossible for people to follow law. I'm like, okay, so then it's not a machine gun? They're like, absolutely not. I'm like, so I don't have to like send it in and get approval? He's like, we only give approvals for gun parts. We don't give approvals for drawings, schematics, potential someday, could maybe one day become a gun part. No, you don't have to worry about it. And it's my fault. I didn't get a receipt. I should have sent the follow-up email going over the points of the conversation, and maybe even a picture of the auto key card and been like, hey, just clarify, this is what you said, has that changed in any way? So that's my fault. This whole thing is my fault. I should have had receipts, because receipts would have went way differently, or I should say trial would have went way differently if I would have had receipts. So, now, this licensed machine gun manufacturer, YouTuber, family man, whatever, is now a convicted felon, which sucks. It is what it is. That's where we're at right now. So, let's go on to what my options are and what I plan on doing from here. So let's move aside my ability to turn a hobby into a felony faster than you can say solve and trap, and start going over the plans. Now, the first things first, Trump winning has been a good thing. Having a convicted felon as a president has done wonders for the Second Amendment community. Yes, I know it could be better, it could be, but no one's perfect. We're going to take the wins where we can get them. So, what are we looking at? Right now, we have a convicted felon as a president. That means he has access to the greatest military the world has ever known. And if you were to go to court for your girl having access to a gun, they would call it constructive possession. So he's in constructive possession of some of the most destructive devices in the world's history. He also has actual possession of the nuclear football. Literally, are nuclear launch codes less regulated than a shotgun? Because he can have a nuclear arsenal at his fingertips, like he has possession of it. Literally possession of it. And constructive possession of the world's military. And I don't have access to a shotgun? With some birdshot? How does that even make sense? So, that has opened the door, and it's obviously going to get us a bunch of wins. Now, these wins could come in many forms. We'll have to see how it goes. But I am completely 100% done with FFLs. I will likely never, ever, ever, ever own a tax stamp again. Yeah, I never believed people back then like, oh, you know, a tax stamp is just a way for police to get in your house. Yeah, it's 100% right. If I would have had a tax stamp when this whole thing dropped on me, you cannot be in possession of an NFA item as soon as you get federally indicted. Which means they have a green light to come into your house because they need to retrieve that item. While they're in their house, they can search for other contraband. They can throw a little like vague disclaimers on the warrant. The point is, you will get your door kicked in and your arrest is going to be probably a no-knock raid instead of how it happened with me getting pulled over on the side of the road and then being like, hey, you know, you've been indicted and you're about to go get arraigned and possibly go to prison. Instead, you'll be sitting on your couch and boom! In comes 2 flashbangs, boosh, boosh! Get down on the ground! Possibly shoot your dog, who knows? You just don't know. Once you cross that threshold of a no-knock raid, anything can happen. I'm not like condoning violence or anything, which I don't even know why I'm wasting my time with a disclaimer. Because I believe in my other videos I used to say, hey, I'm not giving legal advice, and if you take legal advice from me, you're stealing. I am not a lawyer. I am not offering, nor am I giving legal advice. If you take legal advice from me, you're stealing. The most important thing you absolutely cannot forget, you cannot talk yourself out of being arrested. No matter what. There is nothing you can say that will prevent you from getting arrested. If they have enough evidence to arrest you, they in fact will arrest you. Still, when I got sentenced, even though that disclaimer was there, they're like, oh, Mr. CRS here, or in this case, Matt Hoover, was telling his audience not to talk to the ATF and doing all this bad stuff and instructing people to break the law. I'm like, what, my disclaimer mean nothing? Yeah, the disclaimers mean nothing. So other gun channels might throw little disclaimers in there about legal advice and this and that. They're wasting their time. Honestly, when the rubber meets the road, it doesn't matter. They're going to throw all that shit in your face, disclaimer or not. Actually, on the auto keycard video, it started off with a big-ass disclaimer. Hey, I don't remember what it is verbatim. I'll see if I can find some time and show you. But something about like, I'm a licensed machine gun manufacturer. This is strictly an educational video. Some of the things I may be doing in this video may not be legal for you to do. Right at the beginning. Did that save me? Did that stop them from coming after me? No. So, just a quick update. YouTube disclaimers are completely worthless. Alright, sorry, I kind of went off in the weeds. I don't even remember where the point I was making, but well, let's go back. So, what is my plan? First things first is the appeal. I'm going to win. Like, there ain't no question in my mind, I am going to win. However, should I not win, Trump restarted 925C. So, basically it boils down like this. When they made the 922G laws, that's felon in possession with a firearm, there had to be a way to get the firearms back. Because just taking away the firearms from anyone isn't a violation of the Second Amendment. So what they did is they had 925C. And that was a way so you could apply to get your firearms rights back after a certain amount of time after becoming a felon through the federal system. However, that was not the plan of Congress. So they just had to do that to make it look good. So immediately after the 922G laws and 925C came out, they defunded 925C. Meaning there's no funding for anyone to try to get their gun rights back. Trump refunded this. So if I lose my appeal, my next step would be that. Now, I don't think I'll qualify for that because they specifically say they have a list of restrictions. I'll put right here. As you notice, this one right somewhere in here talks about gun crimes, saying that if you got convicted of a gun crime, gun trafficking, which you could definitely call my case gun trafficking should it stick, you are not eligible for 925C. But that would be the next step. I'd apply anyways because I make the argument, hey, it's a drawing, there was no actual guns involved. Like, can you please look at this? Should that fail, my next step would be move to Texas and sue. They already have it in Texas where after a felony is a certain amount of time old, sorry, I can't talk. After a felony in Texas is already older than a certain point, what you can do is have firearms in your house. You can't carry them, you can't do anything like that, but you can have them in your house. They're making huge strides forward in felony rights, I guess you'd call it, in Texas. I'd sue in the Northern District of Texas. I'd sue in the Northern District of Texas for my gun rights back. And I'd try to get them back. But either way, Texas would be the next move. I still may move there anyway, just because they dox me bad. If you Google me right now, you can find medical records on me, credit report, you can find my assets, you can find my physical address, my full name, just by typing CRS Firearms into the internet. And I went through a lot to bury all that. Before, the best you would find is Mike Honcho, or you'd find my dad. And people would be like, oh, Mike Honcho, that's a fake name. His dad's name is Mike Hoover, so maybe that's why. And now it doesn't even matter. You can find my address and everything. And we've seen what these anti-gun people do. Charlie Kirk, do I even need to go any farther? So that's a huge threat, having that much ammunition and information about me on the internet. So I may wind up moving to Texas and then buying a property in an LLC or something like that, so I can start burying my name again. So I don't know, but that would be the next step. If that fails and I'm unable to do that, well, I don't really know what to tell you at this point, other than this America. And after the Bruin decision, we are getting a lot of traffic. And the DOJ is actually starting to look at very restrictive states, trying to figure out why can't these people have firearms, and suing them. So, this America, we do what we want, and I'm pretty sure the next thing we want to do is make it so this whole lifelong ban on felons gets lifted. Yeah, 85% of people go back to prison. They do. That's a thing. But you know what? Whether they're a restricted person or not isn't going to change the fact whether or not they carry a firearm. I mean, just look at how many people the ATF arrests on a day-to-day basis for firearms crimes. It's something like 34. They didn't commit a violent crime. They didn't do anything. They were just in possession of a firearm while they were being a felon. So, is the law preventing crime from happening, or is the law creating crime for the ATF to arrest people on? And I think that's become a serious topic a lot of people are looking at. Is the fruits of the law poison? I don't know how to word it any differently. Is the fruits of the law poison? Is the law causing more damage than good? And it's arguable that 34 people a day, lives get completely messed up, is saying that this law is causing more damage than it is good. Because if it was working properly, we shouldn't have people getting arrested for 922G. Because the law would make enough, I'm not really sure the words here, enough of a non-incentive to non-hand firearms to where we shouldn't see a bunch of people getting arrested. Because we are seeing a bunch of people getting arrested, people are looking at the penalties and looking at their right of being America, and they're like, well, yeah, there's penalties, but I'm an American, and I'm going to do what I want. So, I mean, do I really want to go along with this communist plan to disarm me, or do I want to be an American? And they're picking, I want to be an American. So, clearly the law isn't working. It's just causing a bunch of damage. So, moving on from there, what will happen? I'll probably win my appeal. That's probably what's going to happen. And I truly, truly believe that. Usually when people lose their appeals, especially in the 11th Circuit, because I talked to 2,000 people that I was incarcerated with, going over it, you usually find out between 30 and 90 days. And I'm past the 90-day mark, so I should get some sort of win. Will it be a total victory or some victory? There's no guarantees that it will even be a victory, but I should get some sort of victory. And I believe it'll be a total victory. We'll have to see. Another point I do want to bring up is make sure to support your pro-gun groups, whatever one that is. Some people go GOA, there's FPC, other ones. The GOA did help me out. Yeah, I didn't wind up using their help, but it doesn't matter. They still tried to help me out. They wound up giving me some money for a lawyer, and I thought I had figured out what the lawyer was, but then I decided, I don't know. The lawyer didn't feel right, so I wind up not going with it. But they did try to help me. You're going to want to support those people. And they're out there in the trenches every day fighting. Yeah, you might not agree with what they're doing on this day or that day, but as a whole, I believe that these groups, GOA, FPC, whatever, they are making positive changes. And they are doing the work that, I mean, do you want to go down to Washington and lobby? I don't. I'm comfortable with just sitting at home and making a living and making YouTube videos and helping you guys understand different things about firearms policies, firearms techniques, firearms technology, and most importantly, the Second Amendment and how we can all use it. I just don't have time to go to Washington. So I need to support groups like this so they can go to Washington for me, so they can file lawsuits for me. Just my opinion on that. Just to recap the video, is me becoming a felon the nail in the coffin? Is it all over with? Are we done at this point? Absolutely not. There are still plenty of options out there for me. And circling back to the appeal thing, even if I fail my appeal, I still have 2255s I can use. And again, that may wind up getting me relief. Who knows? I'm not going to quit fighting. I never will, no matter what happens. And I hope you guys don't either. And another thing you need to remember is if you like to support this channel but you don't really feel like buying merchandise, maybe there's nothing there you want, you can also support it by clicking on my Amazon affiliate link. just by clicking on that link. Even if you don't buy what that link is for, just clicking on it. And doing the Amazon shopping you were already going to do anyway, I had a little kickback for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.